Welcome to Crypto Simulation Theory. I'm the Gaussian Snake. Tonight, I'm going to talk about why meme coins are in a super cycle this time around, why they're so valuable. I'm going to do a brief discussion about that. I'm going to keep it pretty short, but then I want to devote the majority of this video to a technical analysis of 15 different meme coins that were selected by my Telegram group, the Snake Pit. You can find a link in the video description below if you're interested in joining that group. It is completely free. That includes the meme coins MANEKI, based PEPE, FOFAR, contract 0x420, LandWolf, contract 0x67, Andy, 0x68, Bread on Base, PEPE on ETH, BLUB on SWI, FUD on SWI, HOPPY, PEPE, Tyler on Base, BONK, with, and MOCHI. Those are going to be the 15 I look at tonight. These will not be very detailed in the sense that I'm not going to do 20 minutes on each one, but we will go through and look at them as much as we can. Now, I will just caution you that some of these meme coins, being on chains like SWI, I may not be able to get as into the weeds with the technical analysis as I could on others that I might be able to pull up on TradingView. So just to keep that in mind. Also, this is not financial advice, and I am in no way endorsing any of these meme coins. The only one that I own out of all of these is FOFAR. So I just want to disclose that I do own some of that. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. So what makes meme coins so popular? Why do people flock to them? And why are they becoming one of the key drivers of this bull cycle? I mean, we saw in late 2023, early 2024, some meme coins just absolutely explode, including someone I covered tonight. Well, with a meme coin, it's very simple. The token is the product. Now, there are some meme coins that are building out some utility, and that can actually be an asset. It can also work against the community depending on how they go about it. But if it's done in a thoughtful way, that can be quite an asset. Everybody's asking for utility these days. It's not just enough sometimes to be a simple meme coin. Tokenized community is basically at the core of meme coins. So you have a group of people that are all rallying around a cause. It's very cult-like, very similar in some ways to religion. And this is something that these are not all entirely my own thoughts. I want to give credit where credit's due. There's a meme coin analyst by the name of Murad who has inspired a lot of these thoughts below. One of the things he actually said is collective artistic expression is something that is present in meme coin communities. People getting together, having fun, having a good laugh over the memes. And fair tokenomics and token distribution. This is something that's really important to me personally, and I take very seriously. And we'll be looking at this metric tonight with all the coins that we study to at least the ones that we can find this data on. And this is just kind of something that is in contrast to a lot of so-called utility coins that you see in the RWA, AI, DeFi, and other sectors where you have early investors, like angel investors, venture capital, corporate money coming in and buying coins during private sales that most retail don't even have access to. And by the time retail does have access to the initial token launch, it's too late for them. They're facing an 80 to 90% drop on anything they buy at that point, and there's no guarantee that token ever comes back. Most tokens just don't have utility. Let's face it. And including meme coins, the token itself is the utility. Compelling social, political, and humorous narratives. We've seen coins like MAGA take off this cycle, and there's just some funny meme coins, a lot of animal themed ones. Matt Fury's been a real big theme this cycle, and I think that will continue into next year. You truly have the potential for life-changing financial gains, very similar in spirit to the 2017 ICO boom. You just can't get these 100x, 1000x, potential on regular projects these days because they're already coming out with fully diluted valuations that are insane, like billions of dollars of FTV, and their total revenue is only like the total market cap is like sometimes in the hundreds of millions or something, or even less than that. So it's ridiculous. And of course, they're entertaining as well. So these are not all the reasons why meme coins are popular, but I just wanted to go through a few of them. So I'd like to get into the technical analysis of the 15 different meme coins now. I know that's what most of you are waiting for, and I'll try to do this as efficiently as possible to not make this video way too long. And then you can let me know your thoughts below if you'd like to see more videos like this, or if this is more of a one and done for you. So let me know your thoughts. All right, so we're going to start with MANEKI on Solana. And I'm mainly, when I'm on Dex Screener or Dex Tools, I'm going to focus on these stats over here, and then we're going to move over to TradingView if we can, because I can do better analysis there. So the market cap of MANEKI is 47.26 million. 100% of the supply is in circulation. That's a good thing. This chart or this token was created in April, and the volume's coming in at about 4.21 million, which is pretty good considering what's going on in the market right now. 74,000 holders. And if we look at the token holder distribution, now obviously I can't pull up bubble maps for a Solana coin. There's probably a way to do that. I know there's Bird Eye and things like that and Solana that are similar, but I'm really not that familiar with it. So it's not going to happen. Looks like maybe some of these might be exchange wallets, but it is a little bit concerning to see that the holders only control about 52% of the total supply. So that to me, it's just something to watch out for. It doesn't mean that this is a bad investment. I mean, to be honest with you, like with that many holders, it's not the worst thing in the world. So I would like to see this number higher, but it's certainly not like a giant red flag. Let's go ahead and look at the chart on TradingView. And so you can see here's MANEKI, which has been kind of in a really long downtrend for a while. So if we pull up a trend line, we can see that we actually finally broke through this trend recently and then fell underneath it again. Now I'm looking at a 12-hour chart. Let's pull up the daily. I had it on a 12-hour for a reason you'll see in a minute. That doesn't really change anything though, right? So we have a daily Gaussian channel that is red and concave up. That is kind of a good thing. MANEKI did not really break through the Gaussian channel with authority, the way that I usually like to see coins that are about to go parabolic do. But again, this is on a daily time frame, so take that with a grain of salt. We don't have enough data to really look at anything other than maybe a 3-day. Now, notice that it did kind of get rejected at this trend line. Is still kind of acting as resistance and is now resting on the 100-week whole moving average, while it's kind of spent some time between the 20 and the 50. Now Bitcoin itself hasn't been doing great, but it would be nice to see MANEKI find some support here and then maybe start to flip this channel green. If we look at the um, strength against Bitcoin, we can look at this on the Mansfield RSI. We can see that MANEKI has been able to more or less hold its own against Bitcoin, which is something we definitely want to have in a coin. We've had these green periods, and this is on the 12-hour. We can't look at the daily because we just don't have enough data. Now I'm going to go back to the daily to look at a few other things with MANEKI. So let's go ahead and close that and drag this out. So what other things could we look at with MANEKI that might be useful? Well, maybe the beam indicator might tell us if we're in undervaluation, and we definitely have been in a lot of undervaluation. But notice that the undervaluation has started to come upwards. So that's sort of indicating to you that MANEKI may have found its bottom over here in August. I think this is very likely to be the bottom for MANEKI and likely to hold up. So that's a good sign there as well. It's a very popular altcoin. It's got a lot of big backers behind it. So I would say MANEKI looks pretty decent right now. I think entering at these prices could work out long term. Again, none of this is financial advice, but in general, I do like the way this setup is starting to look, minus this drop down here. But of course, this is something I would probably monitor over the next few days and see kind of where we go from here. If I zoom out to like a 3-day time frame, it's about probably the biggest time frame I could get on here. We can see that the Gaussian channel did turn red. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. And MANEKI has been kind of waffling around its 60-day whole moving average. You can see there's not really a lot of data I can look at on any time frame other than the daily, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, entering coins like this, it is risky, of course. Keep that in mind. We could pull up a weighted logarithmic Bollinger Band as well, and we can see that we, went from the top of the Bollinger Band down to the bottom. As far as like the Gunnar EMA, bull and bear market support, let's take a look at that. See what that's telling us. Had a bullish cross back on September 12th, and it looks like we have maintained that bullish cross even to this day. If we can bounce off of this 100-day EMA, or sorry, HMA. So the next point I want to look at is based PEPE, and this is not to be confused with the PEPE that's on ETH directly. This is on base. Market cap is 14.63 million. And I don't think this 1.61 million holders value is accurate, and I'll explain why in a minute. So far fewer holders than that. Um, and they total supply and circulating supply match each other. So that's a good thing. I do like that. Um, if we go over to the token holder distribution, it's really hard to tell exactly how this is split up. And the reason for that is they have a buy bot that goes continuously, putting in very, very tiny amounts of volume, and that skews the total holders for sure. And the reason that project like this can do that is because they're on base, the transaction fees are cheap, and it allows them to stay trending for longer. How you feel about that is up to you. Um, but what I do enjoy here is seeing that they don't have a lot of whales. So very few people own more than 2% of the supply. Of course, you have your exchange wallet. What would be nice to see is the bubble maps for base PEPE. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. We zoom out here. The bubble maps for base PEPE look fairly clean. There is this cluster. So if you look here, this is connecting together a few different wallets. You can see wallet 19.975. The cluster percentage as a total is 3.3%. So overall, though, this looks really good. These are some pretty healthy looking bubble maps, um, and much better than a lot of other bubble maps look in the space. But this gives you kind of an idea that, like I said, there's not nearly as many holders as the. Um, the chart for base PEPE is pulled up right here, and you can see it's had a pretty nice run. I mean, this is uh, almost textbook parabolic start, and it's kind of been in this long range of accumulation. It does look like base PEPE is kind of heading downwards. You can see that it got all the way up to a Snabble RSI level and stayed up there for quite a while, around 95, but it is coming down. So we may be seeing a slight change in trend, maybe a little bit of a decrease in price and some consolidation, maybe around support levels. It's hard to say exactly where that consolidation will take place. I do think this is a project that you could still make quite a bit of money off of. I mean, it does have the PEPE name that it carries with it. It's on base, super cheap transaction fees. I've heard the community is really great, and a lot of really enthusiastic holders in my community. I'm not one of them, so I can give you, more of an unbiased look. So I would say probably to wait for entry on this one. Wait a few days, see what the chart does, but try not to get too greedy. I think it could be a good hold for this cycle. It does have a lot of qualities that I like. Okay, so this is FOFAR on Ethereum, which is one of the official Boys Club projects. Market cap is 2.24 million, about 3,250 holders. 24-hour volume is decent at about 48,000, similar to other projects of its size. And once again, circulating supply and total supply are the same. I love this about meme coins. You see this with so many of them. I'm not going to look at the chart right on here. I told you I'll do that on TradingView whenever possible. As far as holder distributions go, this looks really good, right? So you've got your exchange wallet at 7.07%. You've only got two whales above 2%. Everybody else below there. So kind of like base PEPE, right? Like very similar kind of idea. This is on Ethereum, not base. So the token holder count's actually accurate. 78% remaining holders. So yeah, like it looks really good to me. And I do hold this project, so I'm trying not to be biased here. If you see my videos, and my Twitter updates about FOFAR, I try to call it like it is with it. Um, Bubble maps look really good. Again, kind of similar to what we saw with base PEPE, right? So not a lot of worrisome wallet clusters. This one is barely at 3%. This one's at like 2.2%. So overall, it looks really good. Again, this is 2 months old. All the data I'm showing you is 2 months old for these projects. And then just looking at the chart, we can see that FOFAR put in a triple bottom, which is a very, very bullish thing. It had a bullish cross that has still yet to be invalidated on September 19th. This is a daily bullish cross, so if this does get invalidated, it's not like that big of a deal. What I do like is that we blasted through the red Gaussian channel with authority. We flipped the Gaussian channel from concave down to concave up and shrank it. So, or shrunk it. I have a lot more drawings on here because I analyze this chart very frequently. But yeah, the chart looks healthy to me. I would like to see us get back above this red zone. We are holding support right now at key levels, the lower part of the breakout. So it would just be nice to see us continue to hold that support. I would not like to see us come back down here again. So we'll have to see what happens as far as that's concerned. You can see the Snapple RSI has presented sort of like a triple bottom pattern, where we're at right now at this level of about 34. It's not the best looking thing in the world, but hopefully we can at least like chop around for a little bit here. Let's see, as far as other indicators go, like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on any one crypto, so we'll just pull up, how about the wave trend oscillator? We'll look at that one and see what it has to say. Wave trend oscillator has flipped red and it's getting near the median line here. So now, there's still some probability of further downside or sideways price action. This could come down again. Potentially, we could test some of these lower levels. I mean, I'm not thrilled to see that personally, but at the same time, I do believe in this asset's strong narrative and a lot of great developments coming out in October. So I would say that it is okay to buy at these levels. Again, not financial advice. There's a chance you could buy lower, but I don't know if it's really worth waiting for that. But I would just exercise caution, of course, because this blast through the Gaussian channel was not confirmed right now, and we are kind of tumbling back down again. This is a daily time frame, so proceed with some caution. And it's certainly okay to not buy right now and just wait it out and see what happens in the next few days. That's certainly true of any chart. And keep in mind that I am biased. I do hold this coin, so no matter what I say, there's going to be a bullish bias on it, right? Um, but yeah, I think it looks good for DCAs at the moment. Hey, so this is Land Wolf on ETH. Market cap of 63 million. This is one of the larger Matt Fury Boys Club official projects. Total supply and circulating supply are the same as we've seen with all of our examples so far, so that's good. We go to the total holders, we can see that, like the other projects, there aren't a lot of large whales. So this is really good. You like to see 75% remaining holders. you know, this is the number I like to see. Like if you think back to MANEKI, numbers like this are a little bit more favorable than for that project, right? So yeah, nothing here, no red flags or anything like that. Let's go to the bubble maps. So we can see the Land Wolf bubble maps look pretty good. You might say, what about this cluster? This is a transfer. This is BitGet. This is a exchange wallet, so we don't worry about that. This is Mexi, another exchange wallet. This one, I'm not sure if it's an exchange wallet. It does have 4.5% of the supply, so that's certainly not great. But overall, honestly, this looks really good. There's nothing to complain about here either. Going to the chart, we can see, similar to FOFAR, Land Wolf has put in a pretty convincing bottoming structure, and it actually came out much better than FOFAR out of this pattern. You see it jumped way up, maybe a little too high too soon, and we're coming back down to earth. You can see the Snavel RSI put in a head and shoulders pattern. We got a sell signal on the wave trend oscillator on the daily, so probably not the best place to be DCAing in, and probably wait maybe a little bit. If you feel like this is going to come down even more. I don't think it has that much further to necessarily fall, but who knows, right? When you get these red dots, usually you're going to come down below here for a little bit. So, like a green dot is like a buy signal, right? And the red dot is sort of like a sell signal or overvalued signal. So I think like, just maybe be a little bit patient with Land Wolf. We have to see if it holds its bull market support band. This is again a daily time frame. We don't have a lot of history for these assets, so it's a little hard to analyze them on much higher time frames. But I do like this bottoming process. It does look good. I think even if you were to DCA at these levels that we're at now, I think it still would provide pretty good long-term value. I think Land Wolf has a lot of potential to do really, really well in the coming bull run. Okay, we have Andy, which is another boys club project, very popular one, $143 million market cap. Again, no inflation, circulating and total supply are the same, 22,000 holders, which is really good. If we look at the holder distribution, it looks excellent. This is actually one of the best ones I've seen. I mean, yeah, you don't get much better than that. 87% out of the top 10. If we go to the bubble maps, let's go ahead and see how that looks. One moment while we go to that. Bubble maps look really good. So you're seeing what looks like exchange wallets. It's not pulling up the data for me, but I would bet you. Yeah, there we go. This is Mexi. It's an exchange wallet. This one's 2.7%. There's a cluster there, not an exchange wallet. This is Gate.io, exchange wallet. Yeah, so I mean, this bubble map's actually probably the best one I've seen out of all the projects we've looked at. Um, Everything looks really, really good about Andy, and yeah, I mean that's exactly what you want to see in a project. So it's the best project I've seen so far in terms of bubble maps and stuff. Really enjoying what I'm seeing with this one. Let's go to the chart, and so you can see similar chart to Landwolf. Put in a pretty convincing bottoming pattern here with a series of lower lows, and then it sliced through its daily Gaussian channel with authority. Did the same thing Landwolf did, and this is really more of an artifact of what's going on with Bitcoin, I think, than anything else. It's battling with its 50-week HMA at the moment, and its bull market support band is still technically a bull market support band, so it looks really good. You can see, I mean, it looks just like Landwolf, right? Like the chart looks almost identical. I think the Matt Fury major coins are moving kind of in unison together, and that's a good thing. And yeah, I mean you can see the strength against Bitcoin here. It's pretty strong against Bitcoin. Um, so yeah, I think Andy honestly looks really good. Might want to wait a little bit if you're going to DCA on this just to see what happens with the chart here. But like with Landwolf, I think even DCAing at these current levels could work out really, really well. I mean, you're talking about a market cap. This coin I think has a potential to go into the multiples of billions, potentially $10 billion. 5 to 10 billion, easy. I think for this. So. 5 billion if you're not thinking too greedy, but even from there, it's like a good what, like close to 40, 35, 40x from where we are right now. So I like it. I like the way Andy looks. Looks good. My Snake Pit followers really, really like the Math Fury meme coins, and it's easy to see why, right? So this is a base Brett, and this is on the base. This is on base layer 2 on top of Ethereum. We can see market cap just under $1 billion at 851 million, 598,000 holders, and no inflation, just like the rest of them. Pool was created in February, so this one's a little bit older than some of the other Map Fury meme coins that are out there. I'll look at the chart later. Look at the holder distribution. Looks really good for a project of this size to see 75% underneath the top 10. And the bubble maps for this project actually look really good. So pretty much all these large clusters you see right here are just exchange wallets. So like the way the bubble maps look. And the chart, looks very similar. Just like Andy looks similar to Landwolf, I feel like Base Brett looks similar to FOFAR. Like it almost has like it has like a double bottom, right? FOFAR had a triple bottom, and then it came up to the top of the Gaussian channel, very similar kind of way that FOFAR did, and it almost looks identical, like it's butting right up against its 50-week HMA. Um, so I would say the same thing about Base Brett that I would say about FOFAR, which is that these look like relatively good levels to DCA at. I think if we pull up the Beam risk indicator, and again, remember, I don't own any of these except for FOFAR. You can see that we are technically back in undervaluation. We're actually like just barely under the zero line. Um, all these charts from the map memes look so similar, but we are getting a little bit of a bounce here at the 32 level. Could it go a little bit lower? Sure, it could, but I think DCing at these levels is fairly safe. And I think Brett has some serious potential. Like, I think it could get to probably 20 billion. I don't know, pretty damn high, honestly. So yeah, I love the way this project looks, and it looks like a really good place to park some of my money. Not your money. You do what you want with your money. Not financial advice, but it looks good. The highest market cap out of all of the Map Fury meme coins, and the oldest as well. PEPE goes back to early 2023. It has same thing like all the others, 100% of its total supply and circulation. Token holder distribution. Honestly, it looks pretty good for a coin of this size. I mean, Remaining distribution is 54.37%. You do have this wallet up here, which I believe is an exchange wallet at 22.8%. The bubble maps are a little bit more telling. If you go over there, you can see the bubble maps in general do look pretty healthy. These are all exchange wallets, and you would like to, ideally see more but 54%, 50, 55% is nothing to really sneeze at. I don't think it's really um, anything too concerning. I mean, Pepe has been around for a really long time and established itself. So, I would feel comfortable investing in it. And if we look at the chart, we can see that Pepe has been holding above its this is long-term support and resistance trend line. Looks sort of like a combination of what happened with FOFAR and what happened with Andy and Landwolf, where you blasted through the daily Gaussian channel with a lot of authority. FOFAR did not do this; it didn't get above the Gaussian channel, but Andy and Landwolf did. Brett didn't, right? So it's like a combination, right? And so really clear what appears to be like a bottoming process here, stuck in more or less the same place the other coins are, although it's above its 50-week HMA. Some of them were below their 50-week HMAs. So that is something to watch out for. And you can see that we did get that red dot, which is usually like a sell signal, but see, sometimes it can come right back up again. So I guess if you're, again with Pepe, like I think it has tremendous potential, probably to go to 30, 40 billion dollars, which is roughly like a 10x from where we are right now. So I think DCAing in this zone um, could make sense, and I guess it just depends on how much further down you think it might go, But I think with something like Pepe that's already in the billions, I don't think that it's going to have too much more downside, most likely, before it finds like a place to kind of grind around a little bit and maybe trend upwards towards the end of this year. Of course, nobody knows exactly where anything's going, but I would say that yeah, I mean, DCing here could work out, right? It's Pepe. it's very likely to be a shining star of the next um, once the bull. Okay, so this is a meme coin on Sui called BLUB. This one's really difficult to analyze. Not only is it a fairly new meme coin, it just came out in September, but it's on Sui. So I can't pull this up on TradingView and get into the kind of weeds I would like to get into. Um, Also, I had to pull this up on Dex Screener, so I can't really get the data that I would be able to get on Dex Tools, at least as easily on here to see like the top traders or anything like that. Well, I can see the top traders, but I can't see like the holding distribution. Can't do a bubble map, so keep that in mind. And not only that, but I'm limited in the indicators I can use. I have to use SMAs, which I don't really like to use, but actually using an SMA is not a bad idea on a chart this new. So I put in a 5-day, a 10-day, and a 20-day SMA. Note that BLUB is above all of these, and it has been successfully holding its 5-day as support. It hasn't even come down to touch the 10-day or the 20-day. It has had more buy volume than sell volume. Well, I should say more sell volume than buy volume recently within the past 24 hours, but more buys in quantity than sells. What can we say about it? It has an FDV of 61.4 million, a market cap of 47.3 million. So there is a little bit of a discrepancy here. There's some inflation, but it's not really that much. I mean, you'd want to look at the token unlock schedule for this, which I'm not going to do. But I will say is that the chart does look good. It's a healthy looking chart, and I mean, I think entering maybe one of these touch points with a very tiny position could work out. This is an extremely risky project, and I would just be very, very careful with it. It is trending number 4 right now, so um, yeah, I mean it's grown a lot since the beginning, right? It's gone up quite a bit. So you want to kind of see if it starts to like level out a little bit over time, or if maybe goes underneath the 5-day SMA. This one's very, very, very difficult to analyze. You can see there has been some resistance here at this particular level over the past few days. So we are kind of heading back towards that 5-day SMA. So you might want to wait for some confirmation to see if you should put some money in if you haven't already. And not financial advice. Okay, so this is FUD on Sweet as well. So now this is an older project that does date back a little ways. I've put the 5-day, 10-day, and 20-day SMA on this one as well. You can see all the moving averages are stacked. It's moving up in a much stronger way than it was here. Um, this is a really positive sign. However, keep in mind that the previous all-time high most likely will provide some resistance. So this is one of those things where you can say that everything, all the stars are aligned. It's got a really clear like triple bottom here and lasting to the, absolutely parabolic at this point. Um, Market cap is 26.5 million. FDV is 61 million. That's quite a bit more inflation that you're going to have to deal with. It should not affect you at all at the moment. Check the token unlocks, of course. I probably wouldn't hold on to a coin like this for the long haul, anyways. So if you do enter into a position here, keep in mind that uh, FUD is likely to encounter some resistance at this level, and that resistance could be fairly substantial. So you probably want to look at like things like the snap large. I don't know. I didn't even try pulling this up on TradingView. I can try to see if it's available on there because this is an older chart. Yeah, I couldn't find it on TradingView. So that's mainly what I'm noticing here is it looks like it's most likely bottomed, and the question is, does it have enough juice to go through the orange line? I don't think so. While Bitcoin's in a downtrend, I think it's going to find some resistance. So you might want to wait for a little bit of a pullback before entering a position here. Let's just so okay. So I had to turn off the Ethereum bubble maps because my computer can't handle going through all these charts. So I apologize. We still got a few more to go. So we got Hoppy here. Hoppy has a market cap of 55 million with again circulating in total matching, which is great. We love Ushins. Those look good too. So everything checks the boxes for Hoppy as far as tokenomics go. If we look at the chart, it's almost stacked above all of its moving averages. It had a long journey through. Again, I do anticipate some resistance probably near this all-time high. That is know, to be expected. Notice that we are getting pretty elevated territory. We've already printed a red dot. So I think with Hoppy, you may want to wait for a pull this one. But I like it. Project. So PP coin has, if I'm saying that right, has a matching circulating and total supply. Volatility looks pretty good. As far as the token holders go, distribution looks good. Yeah, and he's 81% underneath the top 10, including the exchange wallet. So that is very reassuring. If we move over to blasted through the Gaussian channel, and we're trying to kind of hold a median line here, which I think, it might hold. This is a the pattern that we've seen with a couple coins today already, and you can see we had gotten up into the high levels on Snabble, almost made it up here to the red zone on the wave trend, still in fairly undervalued territory. So I'd say DCAs at this level could work out fairly well, especially with some support that seems to be building on the daily time frame. So I like this coin too. I mean, honestly, I've liked practically every coin that I've seen so far. Um, MANEKI was the only one that I've had any kind of reservations about, and even with that one, it's not much of a reservation. It was just the fact that there wasn't much available. Um, the top, what was it, the top holders, top 10 holders held a little bit more than I would like them to hold, but again, you got exchange wallets in there, so that's part of the issue with PEPE too. So really, I've liked everything that I've seen so far. Can't think of a project that my snake pit telegram members have. $3 million market cap, and you've got 445,000 holders, but again, a lot of those are going to be the buy bot that's just streaming in volume. This is a little, like I said, a little bit concerning with all these with all the wallet supply above 2%. So not crazy about that. Chart does look good. If you go to that, you can see that it's kind of rounding out here. This is on a 3 hour, such a new chart. It's hard to really analyze that. Um, I do think of another pullback is probably likely. It's really hard to see exactly where this is going next. It's a 3 hour time frame, so it does seem that there's some potential resistance that could form soon. It's in price discovery. I mean, if you put this on a daily time frame, that does look pretty darn bullish, right? Making this like almost bull formation. So I don't know. Guys, giving me some challenges here. I can't really pull up any great data on something this new. So like if I go to the 3 hour, I mean, ignore the beam risk indicator at this point. We are up kind of an elevated area, so you might want to wait for a pullback before you enter into a position on this one because it does look like it's getting kind of hot. These can stay hot for a while, but that's on a 3 hour time frame. Keep that in mind. So I'm a little skeptical of Tyler because of the wallets, but it could be, and I mean, you could make some good money on this one if you're careful with your entry. So I'm feeling a little bit neutral on it. Chart does look good. I'm not going to deny that. Let's maybe like think about coming back to this in a week or two and see how it looks. With BONK, we have market cap of 1.57 billion, and we have 773,000 holders. It's a huge amount of holders. This is on Solana. And as far as the holders go, I'll just wait for that to load. Exchange wallets, of course, holding a large amount, and I think that's why you see the remaining holders around 61%. So yeah, I mean, again, no, I mean this actually looks fairly good. I think for a project of this size, kind of like PEPE and MANEKI. I'm not used to seeing the numbers below 70, but with projects this big, I think they can justify that kind of distribution. Going to the chart looks good. So we just kind of bounced near the time frame. So I can go out to the weekly time frame with a chart like this. It looks like very similar setup to the first leg, and then boom, bounced off. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this taken. Okay, so WIF or Dog with Hat has a market cap of $2.33 billion. Total supply and circulating supply are the same, which is good. Token holder distribution, and that just kind of went nowhere. Let's try that again. Token holder distribution looks like very similar to that 55% level. So yeah, I mean, I think it looks fairly good, right? Similar in a lot of ways to Bonk. What about the charts? I mean, I would consider WIF and Bonk to be kind of competitors with each other. They have similar market caps, really cater to a similar audience, both on Solana. So if we go to the here, let's see. One moment. Well, okay, there we go. Yes. So if we look at the chart, you can see we did recently have a bullish cross on the weekly time frame. So that's something to keep in mind. We now have a bull market support band forming. I'd probably wait to see though how this resolves because it's a little bit unclear exactly what direction that WIF wants to go. And if it did break out of the downtrend line, so that is something to consider. It is successfully backtesting it. So I'd kind of wait to see if there's some follow through here, and then that might be a good spot to enter if you get follow through. You don't want to see this come back down underneath here, and it's hard to tell exactly what it's going to do. You know, um, it does look like the Snabble RSI has been in this gradual uptrend, but does it break down some more? Possibly. So I think WIF, of course, is a solid hold. I have no doubts it's going to do really well, and it's going to have another parabolic move. Not that dramatic, but probably a fairly dramatic one. I just don't know if it's going to happen right away. So we might want to just kind of see how it handles overcoming this downtrend line and then maybe scale in once there's some resolution. Okay, this is Mochi, and with Mochi, let's see, we have a market cap of 10.34 million. So this is this the right Mochi? Yeah, well, this is on base. I think this is the right one. So that is down quite a bit. We have 76.6 thousand holders, and this was from December 6th. Let's see, circulating supply 100%, so that's good. Let's get our holder distribution. This doesn't look too bad at all. It looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and look at the chart. Okay, so the chart doesn't look great. Um, it may be in a bottoming process, but we've seen much better chart setups than this. So it's like, why would you go for Mochi when you could go for something else that looks better? So out of all the cryptos I analyzed today, I would say this one is the least attractive by far. I would have to say skip out on this one for now. That's my probably. Wow, I analyzed like 15 projects. It's the most I've ever done. I don't think I'll do this again where I have this many projects crammed into a single video, but this was an experiment. We tried it out. Tell me what you thought below. Honestly, I probably would split something like this up into multiple videos next time. So my next video is going to focus on, it's related to what I did in this one, strategies and techniques for identifying promising projects and like what to look for, when you're out there right now shopping around for different altcoins and meme coins. So that's what I'm going to focus on in the next video. Let me know what you thought of this one. And if you liked it or not, if you did, go ahead, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. I apologize for any technical difficulties, but my computer is a little bit old and unable to handle me going through so many charts. I am the Gaussian Snake, and I have a Telegram group called the Snake Pit. Be sure to join that for more discussions like this. We talk about altcoins and meme coins in there all the time. You don't want to miss out on the latest alpha because it will be dropped there. Nothing in this video is intended to be financial advice. Thank you so much for your patience, and hopefully you learned a lot about all these different meme coins, and maybe you can make decisions for yourself about whether you want to buy any of these or not. That's up to you entirely. I just present you with the data. So I would say if you want to talk more about these, come over to my snake pit. We'll talk about it there. All right, until next time, have a good night.